up, everybody? It's your boy Tea Time. You already know what time it is. First video, gonna be teaching you guys, a little bit of my tips that I can give you in order to be a better artist. So I ain't gonna keep the intro too long until I give me a real intro, but you know how it go. So let's just get into the video. Tip number one is layers. Always layer your paint. Unless you're doing some other different kind of art style, layer your paint. It will help your paint. It will take your painting skills to a whole new level. I'm gonna demonstrate to you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, draw a shape on your canvas. It don't matter what shape it is. I just drew a square just to draw a square. But draw any shape. It don't have to be perfect. This is for practice. Practice is just to get better. Okay. Okay. Take you some paint. And then you just fill in your shape. You don't have to stay in the lines, like I said, just for practice. But if you want to go ahead and try to master that, then, do your thing. Alright, it's layer number one. And you kind of see how it's not solid. Like, meaning it's like in some spots it's like darker, and in other parts it's like it's not. That's where layering comes in, where it makes the color more opaque, if you get what I'm saying. It makes the color more solid. So you can tell it's not really a solid color. Like, it's different colors going on. Like, you see a brighter brown and then a darker brown shade of this brown in it. Okay, like I said, you gotta wait for it to dry, and then you're gonna apply another layer. Now that the first layer, this is your first layer. Now that it's dry, take you some more paint and then go over it one more time. Depending on what kind of paint you got, sometimes it might take you one good try. Sometimes it might take two to make it a solid color. But like I saying, use what you got. Like I saying, it don't matter what you got. Make the best of what you got, honestly. So right now I'm using Liquid basic acrylics, but the brand that I use now is Golden Fluid acrylics, thanks to 1000. I watch his videos like every day. That's an awesome guy. But as you see, as you make your second layer, it's starting to become more opaque. Like, it's starting to become one solid block. And this is layer number 2. So depending on what kind of paint you got, sometimes it might take 2, like I said before, 2, 3, it depends. It depends on the brand, honestly. But by experience, the more expensive brand, the less layers you have to do. Alright, now that it's dry, take you some more paint and add your third layer. And by this point, you should see by what I'm talking about with the layers, how it's becoming more of a solid color, more one whole color instead of here and there. It's like different shades of brown in it. I'm gonna go into a deeper explanation on how to utilize this method in your painting in another video, but for right now, this is as good as this get. Man, I should never laugh. Look at that. Like I said, man, it's just for practice. As you can see, it's more one whole color instead of just one or two colors that you see, different shades. So, Tip number 2. Now, it's your pallet. This here is a Masterson sta-wet pallet. This pallet, this is the one. This is the one right here, because this helps your paints. So ghost in here. This helps your paint stay dry, and this palette helps your paint stay wet. So if you take a break, or take a day off, or take a week off, or whatever, this helps your paint stay wet, so you can always be able to use it. I haven't used this one in like a month or whatever, but as you can see, the paint is still wet. So this really comes in handy and helps you save a lot of money and not have to use up all your supplies so fast. For example, look, this one right here. Look how much paint is still on here. It's dried up, but it's a lot of paint. It's a lot of product I still could have used. So, tip number.
Tea time. Please turn around. Get it together.
Cool.
Ain't no cool.
Tip number 3. Transferring your artwork onto your canvas. The best way to do that is get you some graphite paper, and
that's it.
Now the way I do that, I draw in a sketchbook. Hold on. I draw in this big boy right here. This big boy. And give me some graphite paper. I get this from Michael's. This is an 18 by 24. You know, it don't really matter what size, cause if it's big, because you can always like cut it to the size you need or whatever. But I'm about to show you an example on how I do this. Okay, I went ahead and did the pre-cuts for this already to save time. But you take your sketch paper. I'm just gonna draw a basic shape again. I'm gonna draw a triangle this time. You know what I'm saying? See, that's my triangle. Now you take your graphite paper and make sure the graphite is facing down onto the canvas, or you're gonna mess it up. Face down, and you put your artwork on top of it, and you press down hard enough to where you can get it to transfer onto your canvas. Next thing, you just trace your artwork. And check and see. You see? Perfect. When using graphite paper for like bigger canvases, I recommend taping everything down to the canvas. Because if you transferring your artwork onto the canvas and say you bump your canvas or whatever, your artwork is gonna move, everything's gonna move and shift. So when you get back to tracing it, it's gonna be almost impossible to get it back on, like lined up with everything else. So most likely you're gonna mess up. So I highly recommend that you tape down your artwork just to prevent that, please. Tip number 4, lining your artwork. All right. Now this, I really have to demonstrate to you. So, okay, my go-to brush for line work is this brush right here. It's a liner brush. You can find these you should be able to find these in your local art store, and it should be no problem to find. But this is what I use. It's usually the brush that has a longer tip and it's slimmer or whatever. And the paint I use is Golden Fluid Acrylics. I accidentally got some on the canvas, but it's alright. But as you can see, when I use this paint and make my line, it covers a little bit more ground. Than the other ones. Now this is Liquitex, whatever. As you can see, when I squeeze it out, it's thick and it kind of like keeps its form. But I'm gonna show you what happens when I try to do line work with that one. Get all nice and wet. And I try to make my line. You see that? It takes, I have to go back over this line like repeatedly a lot of times just to get it solid, just as that one. Like this one didn't take much, but this one I'm probably gonna have to take like a lot of paint just to even complete this line because it's so thick. But the golden fluid, since it's like almost water-like, now I ran out of black and I had to mix it myself with water. But when you buy it out the store and it already be ready or whatever, it comes out a lot more better and make one smoother line or whatever. But as you can see, the difference is the thicker the paint, the harder it's gonna be to make the line. But the more water-like it is, the easier it is to do line work. So I highly recommend that if you have thick paint, just simply add water to it, but not too much to the point where it don't exactly have the right mixture of water and paint. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you right now exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, now I got my paint ready. Now this is what happens when you add too much water to your paint and try to do line work. Like no, that's bad. You don't want it to be like that exactly, because once it dries, it's gonna give you that watercolor like dry up or whatever you want to call it. But you don't want that. Like saying, you should want it to be thick, just like that, more opaque. Right? So golden fluid, yes, you can make it work with the Liquitex brand. I did it plenty of times or whatever, but don't make sure you just don't add too much water, because it's gonna give you that kind of look to it. You don't want that. You just want a nice opaque line. That way you don't have to go back over it and potentially ruining your artwork. Our last tip number 5. How to get more customers and how to get your artwork seen more. That's pretty simple. All you gotta do is just keep promoting yourself. It's that simple. Just keep promoting yourself on all your social media or whatever, and keep working on your craft. Don't never settle. It's always room for improvement. It's always room. Don't ever just sit there and just think that, oh, you're fine, you don't gotta work on your craft no more. No. It's always room for improvement. You have to look for it or it's gonna find you. So do not doubt yourself. You're an amazing artist. People just haven't realized it yet. But you have to realize it for yourself. You're an amazing artist. Don't doubt yourself. Just keep working hard. Just keep going. It took me quite a while to get people to notice that this is what I do. I've been doing this since I was knee high. So like I said, people didn't really start coming around to like 2 years later or whatever. But the thing with that is like it's an on and off situation. I had to explain it another time in a little personal vlog. But eventually people will notice you. Eventually people will realize this is what you do. And you will get more customers, and you will get known more, and you'll connect to more artists and more people across the world. So just keep working hard. Always work hard. And always remember, it's not about how you start. So if you're trying to become a full-time artist, part-time artist, or whatever, it's not about how you start. Just start. Just do it. Go for it. Just go for it. That's it. Go for it. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Like I said, I started with what paint? I started buying canvases, and I was using this paint. This $1 worth of paint at Walmart, and I was able to make this LeBron paint or whatever. Then eventually I end up switching brands. Eventually, I mean, as you get better, you're gonna find out what brand works best for you. So just keep going. I believe in you. Make sure you believe in yourself. And it's just that simple. You got it. Trust me. Trust me, you got it. It's not hard. There's gonna be a lot of times you doubt yourself, but it's not hard. Just keep going. Trust me. Alright, you guys, those are my 5 tips that I can give you guys to try to help you out in becoming a better artist. So I say you got it. Just believe in yourself. It's that simple. Now, look. Make sure you go copy some merch. I'm gonna put the link. It's right here. The link right here. And it's gonna be in the description. Make sure you click it, cause if you don't click it, guess what? Guess what? I got it on me. I got it on me. I got it on me. Yeah. Make sure you better click it right now. Copy some merch. Well, alright everybody, I ain't gonna hold you up too long. So, first video out the way. Hey, more to come. Alright. See y'all later. And make sure you like the video and you subscribe to my channel. Cause I still got it on me. Alright.